Hello, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Random Thoughts from me, Ted Bear. Now, I read on my Twitter feed a few nights ago, it was either backpedaling from a comment that backfired, or merely just a statement of fact. But, somebody was explaining that there's a difference between spreading hate and expressing an opinion. I can't say I disagree on that. But I'm writing this video after two stories caught my attention. Stories from Montana and Kansas where people are protecting the good people. Yeah. Like they said on Twitter, there's a big difference between protecting people and trying to legislate morality. Now, legislating morality is not even a new concept. I mean, he keeps coming around when somebody starts talking about traditional values. Well, let me give you a short account of these latest chapters from the state of Montana. Let me present Mr. Pooper, first name Party. Mr. Pooper wants to turn the wearing of mesh shirts, Speedos, and those dreaded yoga pants and leggings, wants to turn all that into an indecent exposure charge with very stiff penalties. As a matter of fact, the third time you're caught with them, you get life imprisonment for wearing something that Mr. Pooper thinks is indecent. Now, from Kansas, I present the Major. Yes, Major. Actually, I decided I'm not going to go there. This is still a family show. Well, the Major has decided to make it easier on people who want to get rid of those in the LGBT community. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, by removing the anti-discrimination laws that were put in place by the Major's predecessor. Now, one would hope that anti-discrimination laws would become obsolete at one time, no longer be needed, but it takes time for people to start seeing past years of propaganda, fear-mongering, stereotyping. Now, in 1995, the movie The American President, starring Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, Martin Sheen, Michael J. Fox, came out, and is a good movie that with a lot to say, and actually it's one of the last movies that I could watch with a political theme that I could actually sit through without, having my gut turn into knots. Now, the synopsis real quick. Michael Douglas is President Shepard. 3 years before the movie began, during his first run for the presidency, his wife dies of cancer. Now, as our movie is starting, President Shepard and his political opponents are gearing up for the next election. Now, during the last election, the opponents couldn't rake Shepard's name and reputation through the mud because of his recent loss. However, when Shepard begins a romance with Sidney Wade, played by Annette Bening, the mud starts to fly. Now, where am I going with this? Well, a stellar speech delivered by Michael Douglas in the third act, which, at least the part I'm going to point out to you, is the motivation for the Major and Mr. Pooper, or at least I hope it is. Excuse me. We have serious problems to solve, and we need serious people to problem. And whatever your particular problem is, I guarantee you that Bob Rumson is not the least bit interested in solving it. He's interested in two things and two things only: making you afraid of it and telling you who's to blame for it, because that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win elections. You gather a group of middle-aged, middle-class, middle-income voters who remember with longing an easier time. And you tell them, and you talk to them about family and American values and character. And you wave an old photo of the president's girlfriend, and you scream about patriotism, and you tell them that she's to blame for their life, and you go on television and you call her a whore. Michael Douglas obviously did this speech a lot better than I did, but then again, he's a professional actor, and I'm just a guy on YouTube. Now, you could see where I'm drawing the parallels between the major Mr. Pooper and Bob Rumson, the titular bad guy of the movie, played by Richard Dreyfuss. Plotting, planning, snake oil salesmen of old, saying whatever it takes to win a race. You see, our lives were better before people could wear whatever the heck they wanted. The foundations of our society are being eaten away by the LGBT community. Now, when it comes to these guys, they talk about American values, but there is an American value that they keep forgetting, and that value is change. Our desire for change pretty much predates everything. Our desire for change is a force for good in this world that keeps us moving forward, keeps us evolving. Our desire for change helps us find things that we were missing, even when we didn't even know what we were missing, what that thing was. Now, do we want to keep moving forward, or do we need to go back like the major Mr. Pooper want us to? That's my question to you. Share your random thoughts with me, O Ted Bear. I hope I made some sense, and as always, I just hope I helped.